Do you think that a male prisoner convicted in a court of law on a final judgment should be allowed to claim that he is transgender in order to be assigned to a female prison?
Senator, as discussed earlier, the issue of assignment in facilities and such is one which is being actively litigated in California and may become before me. If I were to be
now all of a
confirmed,
sudden you can't answer it. You answered it in your law review article. You were for it. But now you can't answer it? Is that your testimony?
Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana dismantles judicial nominee Judge Lee's testimony by confronting her word by word with her own published writings, including a 2010 article arguing that male prisoners should be permitted to claim transgender identity to be assigned to female prisons, and her founding membership of the Georgetown Journal of Gender and Sexuality, which published articles claiming gender is fake and accusing Republicans of wanting to eradicate LGBT identities. When Kennedy asked the nominee directly whether she believes male prisoners should be allowed to claim transgender status to enter female prisons, she deflects, evades, and hides behind claims that her own written conclusions merely summarized other people's views. Kennedy calls her out directly, telling her he does not believe she has been honest with the committee, and that he would respect her far more if she simply owned what she wrote and defended it openly. Let's dive into the main video.
Judge Lee, I don't believe you were truthful in answering Senator Lee's questions. You wrote an article in 2010 entitled An Overview of Special Populations in California Prisons, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And in that article, you argued that male prisoners should be allowed to claim they are transgender in order to be assigned to a female prison, didn't you?
As I said to Senator Lee, that was an article which arose from a symposium, which I just moderated the panel, and then summarize for the symposium edition the different arguments and issues that were raised.
Well, I've read your article, and I don't think that's accurate. You identify certain special populations, transgender people, immigrants, and racial minorities. And you're very critical of the way the California prison system treats them. For example, I'm going to quote here, your words, not mine. The prison system relies heavily on a dichotomous sex-based means of classification. Prisoners are classified by their biological attributes rather than their gender identification. As described by one of the people in the California prison system, the classification process is gender neutral. We really don't distinguish between transgender and non-transgender inmates. Did I read that correctly?
Senator, I don't recall it word by word, but
Here it
think
is.
so. Okay.
And at the end, here's your conclusion. Your words, not mine. In conclusion, because each of these populations, including transgender, traditionally has been marginalized by American society based on their gender, race, ethnicity, or status, they are often further distanced from and marginalized by society upon incarceration. A recent president said you can fairly judge the character of a society by how it treats the weak, the vulnerable, the most easily forgotten. Did you say that?
That's what was written.
Okay. And so, but you're saying your article is just a summary of the opinions of people that you moderated?
I moderated a panel. There were 3 panelists about those different topics. That's what was represented in terms of the issues. And
well, let me just ask you, do you think that a male prisoner convicted in a court of law on a final judgment should be allowed to claim that he is transgender in order to be assigned to a female prison?
Senator, as discussed earlier, the issue of assignment in facilities and such is one which is being actively litigated in California and may become before me. If I were to be
now all of a
confirmed, I would
sudden
do-
you can't answer it. You answered it in your law review article. You
Senator,
were for it. But now you can't answer it? Is that your testimony?
my testimony is that was an article from over 13 years ago, and that as a judge now, and as I have been for nearly the last 5 years, my responsibilities are to fully, faithfully, and
The truth is, you believe that a male prisoner should be able to allow at the sentencing phase to claim that he is transgender in order to be assigned to a female prison. Now, you believe that, don't you?
Senator,
You wrote it.
again, that was a piece which summarized and came out of a symposium edition about the California prison crisis generally.
You found it at Georgetown, the Georgetown Journal of Gender and Sexuality Law Journal, did you not?
At Georgetown, I was one of the founding members. I didn't, of the.
Did you found it? Did you help found it?
I was one of the initial founding group members.
All right, and one of the first articles was entitled, that you picked was entitled, quote, "The Politics of Eradication and Future of LGBT Rights." And in that article, you accused Republicans, or the article you chose, accused Republicans of being influenced by, quote, "a desire to eradicate LGBT identities." Is that accurate?
Senator, I was an articles editor in the first edition.
You don't remember
was
that
never-
article?
I do not recall. I do not know whether or not I edited that.
Okay, well, here's
article.
another article you picked. Quote, here's the title of the article that you picked for your journal. "Gender is fake. The ongoing need for an equal rights amendment." And the article says, quote, "The need for the ERA is more pressing now than ever, given modern conceptions of gender as a social construct." Did I read that right?
Senator, I don't, as I said, I was an articles editor who
Look,
edited. a
Senator
couple
Durbin may
articles.
save you here, but I don't think you've been honest with this committee, because I've read your writings, and I'd respect you a lot more if you stepped up to the plate and said, "This is what I believe."
What unfolded in that Senate hearing room was not simply another partisan exchange between a Republican senator and a Democratic nominee performing their predictable roles in a confirmation theater both sides have long since mastered. It was something considerably more significant, considerably more revealing, and considerably more consequential for every American who believes that the people appointed to lifetime positions on the federal bench owe the public they will serve a fundamental duty of honesty about what they actually believe. Senator John Kennedy walked into that hearing room carrying something far more powerful than political opinion or partisan talking points. He carried the nominee's own words, published words, named words, words written in journals she helped found, words selected and edited under her direct editorial supervision, words whose conclusions she herself constructed, and whose arguments she herself advanced under her own professional reputation and academic authority. And when he laid those words on the table and asked her to own them, she looked him in the eye and essentially said they were not really hers at all. That moment of denial is the defining moment of this entire exchange, and its implications extend far beyond this single confirmation hearing. When a judicial nominee is unwilling to honestly acknowledge and defend positions she demonstrably held in her own published academic work, the question that every senator and every American citizen must ask is a deeply uncomfortable but necessary one. If she will not be honest about what she wrote before confirmation, what confidence can the public have that she will be honest about what she believes after confirmation, when she holds a lifetime appointment, answers to no electorate, and faces no further confirmation hearings for the rest of her judicial career? Kennedy was right to press. He was right to refuse evasion. He was right to tell her directly and without diplomatic softening that he did not believe she had been honest with the committee, because honesty in confirmation hearings is not a procedural nicety or a partisan demand. It is the absolute foundation upon which the legitimacy of lifetime judicial appointments rests.